Roy Rickstrew will be back right after this with some more interesting information about Social Security, disability, and others. Good morning, Rogersville. Thanks for joining us once again here for Roy Rickstrew, the Disability Guru, right here on K-ROG, Wildcat TV. Big weekend, Roy?
No, not at all.
Well, I had a big weekend. My niece got married.
I saw.
Yeah, and so I cooked a lot. We did a lot. We did all the charcuterie for that, and it was enough work that my 18-year-old son was, when we were done, was like, my back is killing me.
Yeah, I saw the picture, saw you in a suit. You look pretty sharp.
Yeah,
clean up well.
I do. I can put a suit on when I absolutely have to, but I did that for so long, I don't enjoy it much anymore. But I suffered through it for her. That was okay. It was a good wedding. It was epic. It was an epic wedding, I would say that. I haven't been to a wedding in a long time, and I don't really know what they do now, but in my mind, that was pretty spot on. They kind of nailed it, so it was really cool.
We spent most of the weekend cleaning up the workshop. And I know that sounds crazy, but I have so many different hobbies and so many different activities that things just are a disaster. And bless my wife's heart for helping me as much as she did. But we can actually see the floor. That's nice.
Yeah, I maybe resemble that remark with my shop out there. There's cooking gadgets and gun stuff and reloading gear and all kinds of camping and I don't know, but so all that and disabilities. What do you got for us today?
Well, it's Thanksgiving week,
yeah,
obviously, and so I want to talk about that a little bit, actually.
All right.
So, a lot of times when we talk about what we're thankful for, we pretty quickly go to family and friends and maybe that we live in the freest nation in the world, but then usually health comes in there pretty high. Mm-hmm. And for a lot of people, their health isn't that great, and it kind of undermines their ability to be thankful for a lot of things.
Sure.
And so I kind of want to talk about that a little bit today. Years ago, somebody was nice enough to share with me a very influential book, and so I'm going to go kind of book club on you here, Will.
No, that's great, yeah.
Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl. Are you familiar with it at all?
I am, yep.
A fantastic book, Austrian psychologist, Jew, thrown in concentration camps, writes about his experience there, both as a prisoner, also as a psychologist. Mm-hmm. And it's a very interesting book. It talks a lot about how people are initially in a shock phase, and then they move to an apathy phase, and then eventually to a bitterment phase. And he makes the observation that people that found things to focus on, found projects, found activities, found something to kind of dedicate their time to, survived a lot longer, or survived all the way through.
In the prison camps.
In the prison camps.
And so that probably applies to anybody that's going through a particular time of hardship or suffering, like somebody who's recently disabled or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Exactly. And that's kind of the parallel that we're drawing here. It's, I talk to a lot of folks. I find a lot of people in different phases. A lot of folks are in a shock phase initially. A lot of people become very indifferent later on. And then a lot of people become bitter towards the end. And I think this is something where technology does us a tremendous disservice in that it's so easy to just flip on the television, stare at the screen, zone out. And we tend to kind of lose who we are.
Sure. And this, I haven't read that book in a long time. In fact, initially what came back to me was A Day in the Life of Ivan Ivanovich, which is, I think, a Dostoevsky book, which has some similar themes to it. But I think that probably the people that come out the happiest, if I'm to kind of meld those two together, are the people that not only find a project to work on, but find a person to serve. And in service to other people. I think that's the only place that we tend to find ultimate meaning and satisfaction of life is when we become selfless to ourselves and are able to serve and help other people.
Right. And the thing is, if you're struggling for a disability, a lot of things have been taken away from you physically, perhaps mentally. The things that you're kind of familiar with or comfortable with doing to pass your time and to invest yourself in. And you have to change your strategy some. And, we think back. I mean, there's lots of things people can do. We have folks in foxholes even today in different parts of the world that would love to have a letter from home.
Oh, yeah.
A letter from folks here. We have prisoners that obviously have had rough spots in their life that need a little guidance, a little support. And just think back about the last generation, the greatest generation, World War II generation. How many of us had grandparents that served in the war, and we have no earthly idea what they did?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And, I have clients that sit down and they record videos. They tell their life story. They read to their grandchildren on video, maybe even grandchildren they don't have.
Oh, yeah.
But they have a project. They're able to serve others. They're able to have some meaningful activity despite their physical or mental disabilities.
And so that's a way that technology actually can really help.
It can.
You can turn it to, it's a tool. It can be used for good or ill. But using that and then preserving that and just, hey, they could get a camera and a microphone and do podcasts.
Sure.
Live streams of videos. You never know what could happen there. We'd love to make that happen.
But, we all sit here and we think about our grandparents and how little we know of them. And there comes a point in time in our life that we'd like to know a lot more of them. And so, there's opportunities for folks to dedicate themselves to things, to find some meaning. And I guess what I'm saying overall is that if Thanksgiving's coming up and you're struggling to find things to be thankful for, where you can't throw your health in that mix, find something else.
Yeah. No, that's a great tip. Anything else for us today?
No. I mean, we can have disability tips too. If you want to call the office, I'll be happy to share some knowledge with you in that regards. But Thanksgiving week, it just seemed like a good opportunity to talk with folks a little bit about kind of some self-maintenance, if you will.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great message. Thanks for bringing it to us today, Roy. And if you want to talk to Roy specifically this week, you're in the office a few days at least, right?
Yeah, I think the office is shutting down at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. I'll be there until then.
Okay.
But yeah, give me a ring if you short week, but still, if you want to come see me today, we'll make time and we'll make sure that we do.
Yeah, that number is 882-1800, and be sure to visit his website, yourdisabilityrep.com. Rogersville, thanks for joining us again on K-ROG. We'll be back tomorrow morning with the Morning Waffle. We'll see you then.
Thanks, guys.